Holy Father and merciful Father, in Jesus' name, please cleanse me and bless us. Everybody, this is Angelo Quinones and your Reach Ministries. Ministries is designed to give you dependable and accurate answers that come straight from God's holy and inspired word, the Bible. The Bible, Biblos, by the way, pospai. Pospai means how's it going. Manishma means the same thing in Hebrew, in modern Hebrew. That was modern Greek, by the way, before that. And so that's just the deal. Now, Heropoli basically is a greeting in Greek also. Yasas, we saw that. Yasu, and that's just the deal. Now, we're getting into biblical Greek and biblical Hebrew. This is a full Greek instruction of John chapter 1, verse 1. And we're taking a little break from that and going to other verses, debates, and campaigns that have to do with, those so-called Jehovah's Witnesses and debates between them and us, born-again Trinitarians. They say, you guys, I don't know if you got that, speaking to the JWs. Now, this is a full Greek instruction, so we look at every single verse. We try to teach you guys how to read every single word in this text. So like if a JW come to you and say, well, what's the noun? Well, what kind of noun is it? Well, what's the verb? What kind of verb is it? What's the construction? Can you spell it? Can you read it? Let's not be like Charles Taze Russell, who went to court and actually failed the test in front of everybody and perjures himself. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be like him. We don't want to be like Mike, okay? So that's just the deal. Let's look at verse 18 here in the NIV this time. Okay, a very dependable Bible, a great Bible, one of the greatest ever. Incidentally, a Bible that has Jesus more than the King James. I love the King James, but this Bible has Jesus more by count of what? 1,241 to 971 times. It's not even close, guys. Okay, 270 times more that Jesus is found and recorded here. Now, the deity of Christ is recorded here more than any Bible, by count of 12 to 11, NIV and NASB, by count of 12 to like 8 or 7, NIV versus the King James. I mean, so this is a great Bible for the deity of Christ all across the board. So let's look at John chapter 1, verse 18, the argument here made by the witnesses. Quote, no one has ever seen God but the one and only Son, who is himself God. Look at that. Who is himself God and is in closest relationship with the Father, has made him known. Let's read this again. This is quite clear. No one has ever seen God but the one and only Son, who is himself God and is in closest relationship with the Father, has made him known. Now, first of all, okay, this, according to the most ancient authorities, according to P66 and texts like that, okay, documents, if you will, okay, it does say theos here, okay, theos. Monogenes theos, as a matter of fact, you understand what I mean? So now, if the King James says no one has seen God at any time, the only begotten Son, well, that came later. I mean, that's according to the Byzantine text form. Okay, I mean, I love the Byzantine text. Okay, but the Byzantine text came later. Okay, that family of manuscript came later. Okay, so P66 is the most ancient Gospel of John that we have, okay, that we found so far as of 2022, okay? This is just the deal. Now it says no one, we're going to see the Greek, no one has ever seen God. Now, I said that this means no one has ever perceived God. No one has ever understood God. What gives me the authority to say that? Well, the Bible. We saw Matthew chapter 13, verse 13 and 14. Chapter 13, verses 13 and 14 say the same thing that I'm saying now. And also, you're going to have a lot of problems when you... First of all, it doesn't say no man. Okay? So it says no one. Let's look at the Greek here. All right? Let's get this app over here. Byzantine text form app, but that's okay. It's kind of... It serves my purpose just for now anyway. Okay? This is chapter 1. Energie in hologos, kai hologos in prostante on kai theos in hologos, or energie in hologos, ke hologos in prostante on ke theos in hologos. I mean, that's just the deal. The Jehovah's Witnesses have a problem with that. But that's okay. They will soon bow the knee and worship Christ. Okay. Theon. Well, wait a minute. Where's the ton there? One of the articles of the 24 article paradigm. Okay, ha he ta, tu te stu, to te to, tan tain ta. You understand what I'm saying? With an omicron, by the way, all of those tas. Okay, hoi hai ta with an alpha this time. Showing the plural. Ton tois tais tois and tus tas ta. I mean, where is the article here? So, I mean, Jehovah's Witnesses have to translate that no one has seen a God. But they're picking and choosing. They don't like Jesus or Logos. He wasn't Jesus at the time, but they don't like Logos or Logos being the God. But you can't pick and choose. Over here, this is for the Father, Theon. You understand what I mean? This Theon, okay, is showcasing him. No one has seen God. Okay, sometimes, God refers to the Trinity. Sometimes it refers to individual members of the Trinity. Now, some of you have pregnant women, JWs in the tower. Some of you, I don't know how your wives became pregnant. I mean, you don't give any Valentine's Day cards or candy or flowers. I don't know how that happened. Okay, probably happened by mistake. I'm just saying. I mean, no Mother's Day, no Valentine's Day, no birthday. So I don't know how you got your wife pregnant. I mean, that's just a deal. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to, these guys are miserable. Actually, I have a friend from Missouri, Mark from Missouri, and my wife who doesn't speak a lot of English. I mean, great English like us, Not that our English is great. You understand what I mean? She said, Mark from Missouri. All right. I mean, it's just a deal. How do you get the women pregnant in the tower? I have no idea. I mean, no Valentine's Day, heart candies, flowers, nothing. I mean, they get nothing. If you're contemplating dating a Jehovah's Witness, man, just be ready for the storm. You ain't gonna get nothing. That's just all there's to it. Nothing. Nada. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Okay, hang on. Let's check it out. It says over here, Theon udes, okay, Theon udes he orake, actually, he orake. Sometimes we say he orake, something, but it's he. When you're looking at the acute marker, it's he orake, actually. You understand what I'm saying? All right. Theon udes he orake popate, o popate, managenes huyas, it says over here, but that's we're not concentrating on huyas. Ha-on estan kalpan tu patras ekenas, and we looked at ekenas. Look at the rule of ekenas right over here. Okay, now if you were to say that ekenas takes the nearest antecedent, well, the father was exegeting the father. Okay, this is a perfect example. Okay, and verse 2 of this prologue, to see that the rule of these two individual words, the rule of hutos and the rule of ekenos, are so different. It's not even funny. It's not a straitjacketed rule. You know what I'm saying? So the antecedent okay, of hutas in 1 John chapter 5 verse 20 is Christ. Okay, I mean, so he's the true God. So the rule of hutas and the kenas are quite different, and you see it right here brilliantly. You see, kenas. Well, kenas doesn't refer to the Father. It refers, okay, all right, to, it says Son here, but you know, you could put God there because it's not according to the most ancient authorities. Okay, now let me see over here, guys. Verse 16, and that's just the deal. Now, theon is in the unaltered state. Okay, oudes is no one has seen, no one, and the oudes means no one. Is a Greek negative. Okay, see ou there. You know, no one has seen God at any time. Okay, he orake. No one has seen God at any time. Popate. At any time. Never, says the NIV. But there's a problem with an interpretation that he orake means from horao, means to see with the physical eyes or whatever, you know, spiritual beings use to see. Because 74 people saw God at the same time, according to Exodus chapter 24. We're going to see that. Not only that, this. I have it queued up for you guys. Okay, hopefully I can go back. Let me see if I could go back here, though. I mean, you know. Let me see here. Matthew chapter 18, verse 10 is queued up for you guys. It says always here, see that not and may is telling you this is outside of the, this statement is this what Christ is saying is outside of the indicative. It's outside of the mood of reality, projected reality. I call it projected reality. You understand what I mean? It's outside of that. It's outside of the indicative mood. Okay? It says over here, see that, because you have different kinds of negatives in Greek. You have oo and you have may, and then you have them together sometimes. I mean, you know, being the strongest negative in Greek. You know, sometimes we say, oh, no, that's okay. And no really means it's okay. But that's not like that in Greek, though. Okay? When it says no, it means no. Okay, see, it says, okay, from horao. Because that's from horao. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? This is an imperative. This is a command. You understand what I'm saying? And the te is actually a second personal ending, te there. You see the te right under the that, okay, and see that all the way to the top left. See the T and the E? You can see that as an English-speaking person. That's a second personal ending. So you have personal endings sometimes in verbs. It says over here, horate. Okay? Omicron or Omicron. Okay, with a rough breathing, and then the hro. It looks like a P, but it's not. Omicron. With a circumflex and a tau and epsilon. The tau's called tough nowadays. Like, I'm tough, man. You know what I'm saying? And then the may, which means not here, outside of the indicative mood, you despise. And so the preposition here, kata, actually is not like, it's not like with the accusative that means according to, you know, it means like down in this situation, despise. Look down. Actually, despise means to look down, literally, English. Katafranete. Or franesete, actually. Okay? And you see, I think you see the aorist sigma there. Aorist sigma. Then you see the personal, the second personal ending there. You see that there. You see the eta there, pointing out the subjunctive. This is a subjunctive verb. The mood of probability or possibility. Okay. That's just it. Now, so see that not you despise. That's a warning to everybody who's not a Christian, by the way, or anybody who's a Christian. You don't despise what or whom? Well, henos. Henos. One. Henos. You understand what I'm saying? From haste, okay, which means one, right? Of the, and that's tone, that's the genitive plural from the ton, article paradigm, side of paradigm. Little ones, okay, mikron. That's where you get the word micro from, okay? And this is mikras there in the nominative construction, is the nominative construction, and mikron, okay? And this is an adjective, that's a genitive, plural. The own is telling me that. So you have the mu, iota, kappa, rho, omega, which is circumflex, and the V-looking letter, which is not a V, is an N. Mikron. Okay, of these. Okay, tuton. Tuton from the Hutas paradigm. You see Hutas right there in the, the lexical form. You understand what I'm saying? Tuton. So you have, Hutas and all the way down the line, Hutas and tutu, tuto, tutan, and all the way down the plural. This is the genitive plural, tuton. Okay. I say lego. That's the lexical form, by the way. Lego, lambda, epsilon, gamma, omega, for gar. To you, and that's humin from the humes paradigm. Humes, humon, humin, humas, and this is a second person. This is a second person plural pronoun. That hati. That the, and that's hoi, and that's in the nominative plural. Okay, the iota is used to make it plural and nominative. Angels, okay, and that's angeloi, okay, and that's the same construction as just like what I just said. Of them, okay, auton, and that's a third person personal pronoun. Now, I hope I didn't say third person personal pronoun from tuton. That's actually a demonstrative pronoun, so I hope I didn't say that. In, okay, in, and that's in, the heavens, actually, it says over here in the Greek, though, the heavens. But it actually doesn't have the word the, so just in heavens. Okay, in heavens. And that's uranois, actually. And that's in the dative, actually. Because, the preposition takes the dative case always. So this is going to have to be dative. And it says continuously, dia. Okay, always, apantas. Okay, the angels, behold, wait a minute, I thought that no one has seen God at any time. So what are the angels looking at God for? Check this out. Blepusi. Or beta. Nowadays called vita, because it can be a V in modern Greek, but this is biblical Greek. It's just strictly a B. Beta, lambda, epsilon, P, omicron, upsilon, nowadays called epsilon, sigma, iota, blepusi. Well, that means behold. You understand what I'm saying? From blepo, I behold, or I see. Now, behold is a very strong word. Behold. I mean, that's just a continuous thing. And dia is used for the continuous nature of it all. Blepusi, the what? The face? The prosopon? From prosopon, by the way. Okay? Ta prosopon. Okay? So if you don't know what prosopon is, if this is a feminine thing or if it's a masculine thing, you'll say it was neither, because ta is a neuter article and the singular, so it's not faces, it's face. Okay, ta. Okay, ta, and ta is the same construction for the nominative as well. This is accusative, it is the same construction. The face, prosopon, ta prosopon, okay, tu patras, of the Father. continuously. Of me, mu. Who, and that's tu. Remember, that's a weak demonstrative. You understand what I'm saying? The article. Tu en uranois. In heavens. Okay, in heavens, literally. So wait a minute. Over here it says very clearly, guys, that there are some creatures that look at the face of God, but continuously, though, not just, the back parts or anything like that. Now. So, but it says here. It says here, and the scriptures cannot be broken, right? Theon udes, he orake, popate. Managenes huyas here, but let's not be picky about it. It says God, no one has seen. Okay, and this is in the perfect tense. The kappa is pointing that out. Okay, kappa. Okay, I think this is, wait a minute, this is, I think this is in the perfect tense because you have the reduplicating vowel there, I believe. And then the kappa, there is pointing out that's pointing out the that's pointing out the what you call it, the perfect tense. Let's check that out though. Okay, just want to be factual, but I'm pretty certain of that. The kappa's pointing out the perfect tense there in that situation. Unfortunately, it can also point out the aorist tense. Okay, in another kind of verb. And now this is it right here. Let's go to verse 18, right? Verse 18 there. Okay, just want to make sure here. It's just a deal. 118. Okay, and then that's popate, has seen. Okay, and that's in the perfect tense. I mean, right? I'm pretty sure about that. And it says over here, perfect indicative active. Okay. And so what I believe happened is that the vowel reduplicated. Okay, reduplicated. Well, you don't see it like the consonantal reduplication. But let's get back to this, though. Okay? Like tetelestai, stuff like that. Verse 30, chapter 19 of John, the debt has been paid in full. I add the word debt there, Theon udes he orake. No one has seen God at any time. But wait. I mean, listen. This told me, okay, and it's not telling me that anymore because the thing is, now let me see if this is queued up though. The NIV, no, actually the NASB will be queued up, right? It should be queued up there, Matthew chapter 18, verse 10. I mean, listen, guys. We have a problem with that interpretation that nobody has seen God at any time, meaning with the eyeballs or with anything else. Because the angels of the Mikron, of the little ones, well, they behold the face of my Father continuously. That's what it says. It says, see that you do not despise one of these little ones. For I say to you, this is Christ speaking. Jehovah's Witnesses, so-called Jehovah's Witnesses like to say that, well, Jesus is saying that himself. Well, Jesus is saying this himself. I say to you that their angels, proving that we have angelic beings guarding us. I mean, I know I love Obed Vargas, but I'm just saying, as a debate and campaign that I'm having with an ex-JW who I love immensely. He's a brother in the Lord, and he's one of my top-notch friends. You understand what I'm saying? I say to you that their angels, okay, this is glorious. They're angels in the heavens, actually. So it says in heaven here, but it's not like that. In the heavens, actually, uranoi, dative plural. In the heaven continuously, Greek word dia, we saw that. See the what? The face of my Father, who is in the heavens. But wait a minute, didn't it say around Exodus chapter 33 or chapter 34 that no one can see my face and live? But the angels have the capability, the ability, the dunatai, to actually see the prosopan, or the panim in Hebrew is face, panim or faces, you know what I'm saying, of God, of Theou, tu Theou, you understand what I mean? So we have some beings that can see God. So this has to mean something else. Meaning the passage recorded, okay, in you understand what I mean? This passage. No one has ever seen God, end quote, means something else. It has to. It has to. Well, let's go to the other verse that will come into this discussion, and we'll look at some rebuttals. We'll help the witnesses, you understand what I'm saying? We'll give them a little, we'll give them a little assistance. I have Medicaid, so we'll give them Medicaid, Medicare. We'll give them that. All right, now let's look it up. Let's look at Matthew. Matthew again. Actually, we're in Matthew there. So let's go to Matthew over here. Okay, you understand what I mean? So let's go to Matthew, because Matthew we have here. So all we have to do is just go like this, okay? That's the lazy way to do it. But anyway, that's okay. Now, we already saw this in our last study. You understand what I'm saying? Blepo is here in the text, by the way. Now, what does it say? Well, what does the word to see mean sometimes in the Bible? Now, I know it means sometimes just to see, actual see. You know what I'm saying? It says over here, therefore I speak to them in parables. Because, said Christ, while seeing, now while is a perfect word to use with a participial construction in English, because it tells you the continuous nature of what the participle is trying to project. Okay? While, after, stuff like that. You understand what I mean? Perfect word. While seeing, okay, I think that's blepantes in Greek there. The nu and the tau are showing is actually the participial morpheme. Okay, it's the main sign of a participle. That's what I'm saying, because there are main signs of things in Greek. I just mentioned one. The kappa can be showcasing the perfect tense. The sigma can show. I say can with a unstraitjacketed thing. Can show you the aorist. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? I mean, there are a lot of signs in Greek. The kind of helping signs, you know what I mean? It's just like when you're driving and you see an arrow, okay? And so that's a good sign that there's a turn coming up. Okay, you see what I'm saying? All right, so that's just the deal. It says over here, okay, where is this? It says over here, therefore I speak to them in parables, because while seeing, they do not see, and while hearing, they do not hear. Nor, okay, that's ude probably in the Greek over there, do they understand. Okay? See, seeing, they do not see. What do you mean seeing, they do not see? Does it mean seeing with the eyeballs they do not see? Possible. It means seeing, they think they see, but they don't see, they're blind? According to John chapter 9, you understand what I'm saying? But look at this. This is an exclamation why horao, I think, means much more than just seeing with the physical eyeballs. It means to perceive. Verse 14. In their case, the prophecy of Isaiah is being fulfilled. You get participles all over the place. Is being fulfilled, which says, quote, You will keep on hearing, but will not understand. You will keep on seeing, but will not perceive. There you go. That's just the deal. That's just it. Perceive. So, no one has seen God at any time means perception. Because the thing is, you have exegesata there to cap off the verse. No one has seen God at any time. The one and only God. Okay? God, the one and only, says another NIV version. You know what I'm saying? God, the one and only, who is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him or, explained him. So the word explain explains to us what haraos is meaning in the text. It means perception. It means to perceive. Now, is that permissible? Well, I mean, of course, let's go back to it. Let's not be lazy about it. You understand what I'm saying? Let's see what horao means, can mean. Well, let's look at the semantic range. Let's just look at it. Now, this is tagged by 3708. You understand what I mean? So let's check it out. The definitions. To see. Okay. Look upon. All right. Experience. Perceive. Discern. Beware. But look at the perception. Perceived. It means to perceive also. Discern. Look at that. Discernment. Perception. You understand what I'm saying? That's in the semantic pool. I'm just saying. You ever went to the pool? Well, you got different people. I mean, if you're the only one in the pool, okay, fine. I mean, I'm just saying. But if you got like 1,000 people in the pool, it has to be a big pool. Like the Bronx House or something like that, Well, you got different meanings to one word. Not just one. I call it the semantic pool. That's what I call it. And it has perception here. So you can translate this, you understand what I'm saying? It's just like this. No one has perceived God at any time. The one and only God, who is in the chest of the Father, he has explained or declared or revealed him. Because the revealing of who we now know as God the Father, okay, has everything to do with people being blind and needing, understanding. You understand what I mean? That's just it. That's just it all across the board. Now let's look at the verse that really gives a problem to the interpretation that this means to see with this, to see with the, whatever tool you have it, as whatever kind of being you are. So to see, you understand what I'm saying? Let's check it out. Let's go to Exodus. Okay, Exodus. This is for the witnesses. This is the silver bullet. This is to kill the vampire, guys. I hate to say that nowadays. You understand what I mean? Because we have to be careful with that. But this is the. How about the vinegar? How about that? How about the steak? Okay. I mean, Jehovah's Witnesses are like vampires. They go to sleep in their little coffins and then they get up, when everybody's sleeping. You know what I'm saying? And they roam around. Seeking children, by the way, also. Let's see. It says over here in verse, chapter 24. Let's check that out, guys. I'm not being too cruel. I mean, you gain one proselyte, and when when you convert him, says Jesus, you make him a twice full child of hell than yourself. I mean, who was more stronger, me or Christ? I'm just saying. That's what he said. Let's check. Oops. Wait for a second, guys. Let's just put this over here. I don't wanna turn it off. Now let me see if I can make the screen brighter and brighter. I mean, I'm sorry about that, guys. What did my wife do over here? I mean, what she's turning on? What she's playing checkers or something on my phone? I mean, come on, man. So that's just the deal. So I don't want that though. But let's get it anyway. Let's see it anyway. Okay. In Hebrew. Let me see over here. Now, and went up, okay, Moshe, spelled out Mem Sheen with an E class, okay, and then a Hey, okay, and the Mem has an O Holem dot, the dot that's pointing out the O, okay, so Moshe, okay, Aaron, his brother, okay. Okay, Nadab and Abihu. Okay, so in 70, let's check out the word for 70 over here of Yisrael. Okay, let's check this out, guys. Where's 70? And 70. Okay, that's okay, she, and that's actually their sheep. Let's see. It's hard to see with the magnifying glass. Sheep. Okay, Sheep im, actually. So you got the sheen, right, because of the sheen dot. And then you got the I class underneath it, just one dot, so that's she. And then you have one syllable because there's a schwa underneath the bait. And so that's sheep. Okay, you got the bait, so that's sheep, that's the first syllable. And then the second syllable has an ayin, which is peculiar. Okay, it's silent anyway. And then it has a dot underneath it. That's another I class. So that's E so far. And then it has a yod acting like a vowel. That's still E. And then you got the mem, final mem. And so that's im. Okay? Sheep im. That means 70. Okay, let's poke the bear. Let me see where's the number, though. They don't have no number here. Does it have a number here? What's the deal with the number? Yeah, there's no number over here, no? Oh, no, there's a number there. There's a number there. It's right there. So this means, this is very crucial to my point. 70, okay? He's 70 right over there. You understand what I'm saying? So that means 70, okay? So this is very, very important. We already saw that it has Moshe and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and he got 70, so he got 74 people seeing God. Where does it see that they saw God? Well, come on, let's check it out. And they saw. They go right up there. And they saw. You got Y for and basically you got a reduplicating consonant here because a little dot in the belly of that letter, when that happens in letters that can reduplicate, is reduplicated. Okay, so the first, so you borrow a Y. In this situation, the Y is being reduplicated, right? So you just borrow. It's like mathematics almost. I like to call it mathematics so you can understand it, what's going on. A yod turned into two yods, okay? A yod turned into two yods, right? So you borrow from one and put it in the first sort of thingy. So you have Y. And then you still have the Y there, so ye, okay. And then the R, okay, is with the second syllable, yir, the resh, okay. Yir, and then you got your u. Okay, you got a wow, you got an aleph which is silent, and you have a wow with a U class. That's a U class there. Okay. Okay. Now the word ra'ah is in this text over. It's in this word over here, ra'ah, and that means to see. Okay, they saw the God of Israel. They saw whom, though? Let's check it out. Let's continue to go on. They saw the God of Yisrael. I say Yisrael because there's a yod there. Okay, they saw the God. And now the word God, Elohim, is in a different construction. Okay? So the word God in Hebrew can actually inflect also, like theos can inflect, has different forms. But you see over here, that God was seen. Now, wait a minute. I mean, they saw something of God, though. Now, they didn't behold God. They didn't see the totality of God. This is in a restricted sense, of course, because no one could see the face of my Father and live, right? You cannot look upon my face and live, said God in the Bible, in the same book. I know that. I'm not a fool. But Exodus chapter 24, verses 9 and 10 are killer verses for the witnesses. Killer. I mean, that's just. I mean, every time I mention these verses, I mean, they can't say nothing. Now they're gonna try to go to 1 John chapter 4, verse 12. Let's check that out. Okay, so verse 18 again says that the angels behold the face of my Father. That's what it says. Let's read it again before we clock out. You understand what I'm saying? It's like going to work. And the disciples came. Well, that's something else, I think. I don't know. Let me see over here. Oh, that's okay. No, but that's actually Matthew chapter 13, verse 14. 13, 14. So let's read that again. And let's read the other one again. And just a few chapters down the road. Therefore, I speak to them in parables. Because, now, first of all, you can't say that he spoke to them always in parables. He didn't say, I speak always in parables. You can't use this to say that everything he said, including Luke chapter 15, about 16, about the rich man in hell, that's a parable just because he said this. He didn't say, I always speak in parables. He just said, let me read it again. Therefore, I speak, to them in parables. Because he just was speaking in parables. He's not talking about everything that he's saying is a parable. When he was talking about the Pharisees in chapter 23 of this book, is that in parables? I guess not. Pharisees and Sadducees and scribes. Therefore I speak to them in parables, because while seeing they do not see, and while hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand. You see? Now, in their case, in their situation, you understand what I'm saying? In their case, the prophecy of Isaiah is being fulfilled, which says, quote, you will keep on hearing, but will not understand. You will keep on seeing, but will not perceive. You see? Understanding and perception are tied in with hearing and seeing sometimes in the Bible. Okay? I'm just saying. Now, we could we could look at chapter 9 of John's Gospel and see that seeing there, means two things. He touched me. I was blind. Now I see. I mean, that's seeing. But then he went on to say something like this. Check it out now. Just because it's tied in with this. You know what I'm saying? It's just tied in. It's like tying your shoe. That's just a deal. Let's check out chapter 9 of John's Gospel. Remember the blind man? Okay, so he was healed. Let's check out like verse 23. Let's check out something like that. Let me see. Chapter 9 and verse 30 I have over here. I jumped up. Now, let me see. It says over here, the man answered and said to them, let me see. Well, here is an amazing thing. He was teaching them. What did he do to you? What did he do to you? How did he open your eyes? I mean, come on, man. Just open them, that's all. Now let's go with Jesus speaking to these Pharisees. Now Jesus said to him, okay, you have both seen him, okay, and he is, okay, now he's speaking to him. Now let's see, let's go on down the road here. It says, those of the Pharisees who were with him heard these things and said to him, we are not blind. We are not blind too, are we? Now wait a minute, they're not blind. But let's check out what Jesus said, verse 41. It says something like this. Jesus said to them, meaning the Pharisees, and then this, if you were blind, you would, okay, have no sin. But since you say, we see, your sin remains. Wait a minute, what is he talking about? Is it sinful to see? I'm not talking about that, though. He's talking about people who say they understand, people who say they perceive. Jesus said, it says over here, apen probably in the Greek to them, okay, probably altois in the Greek, but you know, if you, okay, if you, says over here, were blind, it says you would, okay, have no sin. Is that true, though? I mean, like physically? If you're blind, if you're a blind man, I'm legally blind, does it mean that you're not a sinner? No, he's not talking about physical eyesight or the lack of it. You understand what I'm saying? You had no sin. But since, okay, you say we see, your sin remains. So he's saying that, well, no, I have 20/20 vision. You're a sinner. He's not saying that at all. So eyesight right here in this context, okay, in the beginning of this chapter, is speaking about, you know, seeing and not seeing and stuff like that, whatever the case may be. But over here it turns to, you know, perception, understanding. People saying that they have perception and understanding, or whatever the case may be. But they didn't have it. Let's go on backwards. Verse 39, and Jesus said, it says, for judgment I came into this world, so that those who do not see may see, and that those who see may become blind. Wait a minute, but Jesus never made anybody blind. That was the apostles. That was in Praxis Apostolon. I mean, one of the disciples, I mean, one of the apostles made somebody blind in actually the apostles. But Jesus never made anybody blind. That was not the deal. The blind see. The dead are raised up. And the gospel is preached. Blessed are those who do not stumble. You know what I'm saying? That's what he said to John, you know, tell the servants, you know, who's telling the servants of John the Baptist. I mean, listen, it's me. Don't stumble in prison. But he never made nobody blind. And Jesus said, it says over here, and Jesus said, for judgment, I came into this world so that those who do not see may see, and that those who see may become blind? Wait a minute. I mean, that's just but wait a minute. Even what he has shall be taken away? Can that mean that? Verse 38. And he said, Lord, I believe, over here. And he worshipped him. Wait a minute. Is this an NASB or NIV? And it said he worshipped him? What's the problem? But the King James only buddies and pals. They always separate people, just like the Pharisees. It says worship right here in NASB or NIV. I don't know which version this is, because I just, you know, I can't see it. It has to be here someplace, right? If you poke the bear over here, does it say that? The NASB? Yeah, the NASB, look at that. NASB says worship. They worship him. He worshiped him. So what's the deal? What's the problem? He worshiped him. He worshipped him. Okay. But you seen this blepo. I think because it's blepo over here. I think that's a Greek word. Let me see if it's blepo here. Macy, that's probably a subjunctive over here all across the board. Let's check it out, But this is the deal. This is going on in Matthew chapter 13, verse 13 and 14. That she doesn't mean always she. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Now, what's this? The Gospel of John, and that's like Theta or something like that. We'll check it out. It is Theta. Lucky guess. Okay. I don't believe in luck, by the way. I'm a Christian, but anyway. Let me see over here. I try to make it brighter and brighter, but I couldn't. Sorry, guys. You understand what I mean? This is verse 40. It says over here, and okay, ekusan, ton, okay, farisaon, okay, tauta, hoy, okay, antes there. Ay antes met que autu kai epan auto me kai hemes tu floy. It says apen over here. Apen autois said to them, Jesus, hi Jesus, okay, tu floy, that's blind. Ete, uk, an, exete, ejete. Okay, harmartian, sin over there. Nun, de, legete, you say that hate blepamen. Okay, we see. And then that's the we over there, the men. Okay, and the blepo, that's a connecting bound between the P and the mu there. Blepamen, actually, blepamen. Okay, heun, harmartia. Okay, humon. Okay, mene, remains. So this blepo is used for spiritual perception. So just take them and make them to understand, no pun intended, that see or seeing in the Bible doesn't always mean to see. You understand what I mean? It could mean perception or understanding. Now let's look at the rebuttal. Let's stay right here. Okay, this is Jude, and that's right there, Alpha, Iona, and Alpha. And let's go to chapter 4, which I think is Delta, right? Okay, so let's go there. Because you know what they're going to say. You know what they're going to pull. They're going to pull a little rabbit out of their little hat cheeks. So let's get there before they do. This is what the ministry is all about, guys. I don't want to lose debates and campaigns, okay? Look at this. Thean ude, same construction. Hean ude is popate, same thing. Okay? Look at the reduplicating consonant there, theta. Te theatai. That's a very strong word. That's a behold. I think the NASB gets it right in one of the NASB Bibles that I have, okay, in America. Hopefully it survived the flood, for crying out loud. Te theatai. Okay? And tai, I think, is the personal ending here. Okay? That might be a passive or middle personal ending, tai. Okay? Right there. We'll check it out. It says over here, thean udes popate te theatai. No one has beheld God at any time. If, and you got aeon there, so probably a subjunctive is coming up soon, and I think that's there. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? In agapomen, okay, that's just the deal. But let's look at this. Let's look at this. Let's look at this over here. Same construction, theon, in the anarther state. Theon. Same as John chapter 1, verse 18. Udes is there. That's the same. You understand what I'm saying? Udes. And then you have popate. Okay. Never, if you will. And then you have tetheatai. Let's break this down. Tetheatai. Okay. Let's look at that. Okay. Now, in order to do that, let me show you the lexical form, okay? Let me show you the lexical form of this very strong Greek word. You understand what I'm saying? So let me go to 1 John, you understand? 1 John, it's either reduplication, glory of it all, okay? But at the same time, we're looking at the Greek, okay? We're looking at the wonderful construction of it all. But wait, there's something wrong here. Wait for a second. Okay, so that's let me see if I could get there. Chapter 4 and then verse 12 though. Hope I get it though. I don't really need to get it completely because then I could be around the vicinity of it, and you know, it was hidden there under the accent. So sorry about that, Catholic friends. 4:12, you see what I'm saying? Theon. Okay, no one. Udes. Says no man. Say udes. No one. At any time. Popate. Spelled out B, omega, B. Omicron nowadays called omicron. Tau nowadays called tau epsilon. Has seen. Okay, now check this out. This is in the perfect tense also. But the kappa is not really pointing that out in this situation. The reduplicating consonant, theta, is pointing that out. Now you may say, wait a minute, Angelo, I don't see the reduplicating consonant here. It's not a theta and a theta. Well, the Greeks don't like that. Theta and theta. It did reduplicate into a theta, but they don't like theta and theta together like that. Okay? Now I'm under the word has in the has seen deal. And so you could tell this is in the perfect tense because of the reduplicating theta. But then, since they don't like theta, okay, even though this is they're connected by a connecting vowel. You know, it's a connecting vowel over here, epsilon. They turn into a tau epsilon theta. Now, when you see that you're in the perfect tense. But why they didn't put theta and theta epsilon theta? They just don't like that. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And there are other letters also in Greek that they don't like being reduplicated like that. Okay? So, theatai. Now, the lexical form is theaamai. Theaamai. Okay? This is a deponent verb, okay? My. And so, this is going to be active in meaning, though. Okay? And this is so the tie business at the end of this verb is a passive or middle ending. You see there, middle or passive, and that's where the tie comes into play. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? And that third person, by the way, ending, tie. Tetheatai. Let's poke the bear and see what it means. Let's look at the semantic range. The semantic pool. It says over here, okay, definition, to see, behold. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay? Contemplate, look upon. Okay? View, to see, visit. Look at the strong word, behold. That means a very strong look at God. No human being has done that yet, unless they're in the glory. You understand what I mean? Now, when you're in the glory, well, that's different. Now, Adam and Eve saw God. I mean, he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day. You understand what I mean? Jesus saw God face to face. Him being God, he could withstand the nature of who we now know as God the Father. Incidentally, why does it say no one has seen God at any time, the only begotten God who was in the bosom of the Father? Why does it say Father if he wasn't even the Father at the time? Well, first of all, John is writing that, okay, in his present time. It's just like me saying, well, my wife was born in 1986. So she wasn't my wife at the time. She was a baby. I was 21 years old. I was 21 years old in the United States, and she was over here in the Philippines as a baby. She was born. I was 21 over there, and I was in Far Rockaway, Queens. Okay, and she was in the Philippines. I was 12,000 miles away, or whatever it is. Got to get a yardstick to measure this stuff. You understand what I'm saying? But the way I can say, my wife, see, present time, my wife was born in 1986. I mean, she wasn't my wife in 1986. She was a baby. So when the Apostle John is the evangelist, John the evangelist is writing, no one has seen God at any time, the only begotten God who is in the bosom of the Father. He has the Father. He has explained him. He's the Father at that time of John. So that's why he's writing, the Father. It's the same thing that's going on in 1 John chapter, 1 verses like 1, 2, 3, like that, Same thing going on. He was in the beginning with the Father, like that. Because he was the Father at the time of the writing. Already. That's why I like to say who we now know as God the Father. And archi ino logos ke o logos y prostonte aunque te os ino logos. You know what I'm saying? And so that theon in John 1:1b is who we now know, okay, as the Father. So he wasn't the Father at the time of the actual occurrence of it all, but he was the Father at the writing of the book. You understand what I mean? That's the deal. But look at this word, behold. That's a very strong word. And not all the Bibles have this word except for the NASB, and that's glorious. But I don't think that the NASB has it here in this app, though. It has it in the NASB in my house, to my chagrin, I could have took a picture of it and showed you guys, but, I don't have that there. I don't have it here with me. I didn't take all my Bibles. I should have took more. No way I could take everything. But that's it. Now, so this is just the deal. Tetheatai, I think is the Greek word. Okay? It's in the perfect tense. The perfect tense is a completed action, but the fruits thereof are felt in the present time of the speaker or the reader. Okay? Tetelestai. It has been finished. That's a reduplicating consonant tau also. But that could reduplicate. They don't care about that. Okay? The tau being reduplicated and staying like that. You understand what I mean? The theta, they don't like two thetas like that, back to back and the belly to belly. Like John Sterling of the New York Yankees like to say. You understand what I'm saying? I like the Red Sox just being where they are in last place in the American League East. Isn't that beautiful? No more Papi. No more Manny Rivera, to worry about. You know what I'm saying? That's just the deal. No more brawls with John, with Roger Clemens. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I just like being in first place, guys. That's why I made this ministry. You know what I'm saying? God doesn't want us to lose these campaigns and wars against the witnesses. He doesn't like it's a black eyes to Christianity. All right. So let's go to the videotape. Let's go to 1 John chapter 4 and verse 12. Let's get there. Says over here, no one has seen God at any time. If we love one another, God abides in, let me get that out of the way. God abides in us. And his love is perfected in us. Okay? What does this mean? No one has seen God at any time. If we love one another, God abides in us, and his love is perfected in us. Well, I mean, the only way we can see God is by loving one another. Not only that, the way the world can see God is by the love in the church. And if there's no love in the church, they ain't gonna see God. He ain't gonna be exegeted. He ain't gonna be explained. He ain't gonna be revealed. That's what it means. No one has seen God at any time. Okay? So the way that Jesus revealed the Father by what he did, being commissioned by the Father, and they saw God through him, is the way they're going to see God through us. That's what this means. So there ain't no love, there ain't no knowledge of God. You see what I'm saying? That's just the deal. So they can use this all they want. But they still going to have some problems. Okay? But what about people seeing God? What about people, Moses seeing the back parts of God? That's something of God to such a degree that the face of Moshe was shining like a light bulb. You understand what I'm saying? It's like Uncle Fester all over again. The Addams family, you know. I mean, he had to cover his head. The Apostle Paul had a revelation of that. He said, we're not like Moses who hid his face. We let it shine. Apostle Paul saying, I'm not like Moses gonna hide his face. I'm gonna let that glory shine. I'm gonna let people see what I saw, the back parts of God. But I saw him, said Moses. I saw sign of him. Moshe, Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel saw Ra'ah. Not to be confused with Arah. Don't confuse Ra'ah with Arah. What's Arah? Well, that means to empty. Incidentally, in verse 12 of chapter, another verse 12, by the way. So they have verse 12 of this chapter, chapter 4, of 1 John, to throw in our faces. But they have another verse 12 to throw in our faces of chapter 53 of Isaiah, Isaiah 53 verse 12 to throw in our face. You know what I'm saying? But we throw it back at them like a boomerang. Because it's my sword, not theirs. It's your sword, not theirs. So we just throw it right back. I mean, the boomerang, you catch a boomerang, you throw it right back. You understand what I'm saying? Knock them out. I mean, that's what Trinitarians could do. We could either reach you or defeat you in Christ. It's like Chuck Norris all over again. I mean, you wanted the easy way or the hard way? Which one you wanted? That's just a deal. Well, that's just a deal. So, I mean, Ara means to empty. So he emptied his soul unto death. So that means his soul, his psyche was annihilated, was destroyed. Really? Are you sure? Have you not read what it says in James chapter 2, verse 26, that the body without the soul is dead? It's not the other way around. Have you not read what Genesis said in Genesis chapter 24, verse 20, that Rebekah poured, same Hebrew word as in verse 12 of chapter 53 of Isaiah, that Rebekah poured ara, she poured her jar of the water to give it to the camels to drink, and that water wasn't destroyed. You see? Like the water wasn't destroyed when she emptied or poured out the water from the jar. Well, the soul of Christ wasn't destroyed when he emptied his soul from his body. The body became clinically dead, not the soul. So don't confuse with ara, empty, with ra'a, to see. You understand? That's just all there is to it. That's just the deal. Well, anyway, guys. So we saw what are the rebuttals. We saw, John chapter 1, verse 18, that horao, okay, there, he orake, actually in the text, in the perfect tense. The Kappa is pointing out the perfect tense and the reduplicating, vocalic reduplication, I believe, is there in the text also. You know what I'm saying? So that means perception. I mean, nobody has perceived God at any time. That's what I'm saying. Okay? Because if you have seen me, you have seen the Father, said Jesus. Well, let's look at that. Where does it say that? Well, let's go to the same book, though. I mean, we're in the same book. Let's go to the same book. Okay? All right, so let's go there. Let's go to the dependable NASB Bible. It's the Bible, guys. It doesn't have Easter in it like the King James. I love the King James, so I adore the King James. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't say adore, but you know what I'm saying. Not worshiping the King James. I don't want to do that. But you know what I mean. I love the King James. But it doesn't have Easter in it, guys, the NIV or NASB. It doesn't have Jesus dying before he went to the cross in verse 30 of chapter 5 of the Acts of the Apostles. It doesn't have the Holy Spirit missing in verse 25 of chapter 4 of Praxis Apostoloni, Acts of the Apostles. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it has Jesus found more to be God in this Bible than the other text. You know what I mean? That's just it. I mean, I'm just saying. It doesn't have turtles talking in Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 12, like the King James. Hi, my love. My wife woke up. She's very nice and fatty. Say hi to the people. No, don't wave, hon. They can't see you, hon. Say hi.
Hello.
She woke up now. Oh, my love. Oh, my God. Her stomach is so big and hard, you know. She's 8 months plus pregnant, so, I mean, you know. That's due at any time. No problem. That's okay. All right, guys. Now let's go to verse 14 to finish the study. Okay, this is a big study. This is a biggie. So let's go to this. Let's go to this first, though. Okay, we can't forget who Philip. I mean, Philip and Thomas asked some great questions in this chapter. Philip said to him, meaning the Christ, okay, Lord, show us the Father, and it is enough or suffice for us. And Jesus said, to him, have I been so long, meaning 3.5 years with you, and yet you have not come to know me, Philip? He who has seen me has seen the Father. How can you say, show us the Father? Now, check this out in verse 10. Do you not believe, said Jesus, that I am in the Father and the Father is in me? If you have seen me, you have seen the Father. Yeah, you see it. You saw the Father already. What do you mean, show us the Father? You have the Father right in front of you, in a sense. Now, we don't confuse the issue. We don't say that Jesus is the Father and the Father is Jesus. There are three persons in the Trinity, and they're not the same. They're the same being of the same nature, the same essence, but they're not the same persons. There's a distinction in the Godhead. Understand what I'm saying? Is that you, hon? It says very windy outside. It says here, this in the text again. It says, Jesus said to him, have I been so long with you, and yet you have not come to know me, Philip? He who has seen me has seen the Father. That's horao there. That's horao there in the text. Okay? That's horao. But it's a different construction. We'll look at the construction right now. It'll be suffice for us. You understand what I'm saying? This is the last verse we're going to see. Actually, let's get away from here. That's, I think, 1 John. Go to John's Gospel. I think that's like iota delta. Iota delta. Right? So that's just the deal. Iota delta, I think that's chapter 14. We'll check it out. Now, it says iota delta. Cardia. This is not let me see. Oh, cardia, yeah, let not your heart be troubled. Okay, that's it. Yeah, I just want to make sure this is chapter 14 before I go all the way over here. Okay, let not your heart be troubled. Cardia. Yep. All right, so I was just saying cardia, but I was thinking of verse 28, that there's no cardia in verse 28, Lege, and that's third person, lego, leges, lege, you understand what I'm saying? Lege, okay, auto, okay, said to him, auto, okay, Jesus, ha, Jesus, he was answering Philip back, okay, tasutan, okay, chranan, and that has to do with chronology, that has to do with time. Meth with, okay, and because of the upsilon and the rough breathing there, that's why it's aspirated, the meta there, Humon, okay, Amy, okay, Kai uk, and not, okay, and it's uk because of the epsilon coming up. Egnokas, okay, egnokas, that's over here. Me, Philip. Ha, it says over the one, okay, so you can say the one, okay. He orakos, eme, or you can say the one, okay, he orakos, seeing me, he orake, and that's in the perfect tense, okay. Okay, tan, he orake, tan, the father, tan patera, that's an accusative case construction, patera, and pos, and that's pos su, lege se, okay, dexan, hemin, us, okay, to us, show to us the Father, patera. Now, You see horao over here. Okay? Okay? He who has seen me has seen the Father. You understand what I mean? Now, what did we learn? What we learned, going back to this, okay, let's look at the English over here for a second. Okay, let's look at the English here. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Okay, this is Claudius. It's just as easy as that, guys. It takes a little bit of work. It takes a little bit of work. I understand that. Now, but we have to understand these things. Okay? Let me read, okay, verse 5. Okay, just to cap off the study. It says, the light shines in the darkness. Okay, we need that light. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. Exegesis there. It's not exegesis in the text. I'm just saying that's what was going on. He was exegeting, okay, the Father to us. The life was the light of men. You understand what I'm saying? Well, let's go and cap off the study. All right. Now we saw that no one has seen God at any time means that no one has perceived God at any time. Okay. No one has perceived God at any time. I mean, nobody has understood God before Christ came into the world. I mean, he was sent to exegete the Father. No one, udes, has seen heorake, God, theon, at any time popate. The only begotten God, it says over here. Now, begotten, I mean, we didn't look at this, but begotten doesn't mean to beget, meaning all the time. You have to understand that. It has something to do with uniqueness. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? I'm just saying. Let's look at this word. Let's look at this word. We kind of brushed it aside a little bit, not willingly. Okay? It may appear to be that way, but we didn't do that, you know? So let's just check it out. Because that is something that we have to deal with. Okay? Begotten God, was he begotten? I mean, well, he's begotten. Okay. Well, if he was begotten, I mean, who's the Father's consort? You see? I'm using an argument of another religion. Okay. Now, I mean, that's just a deal. Now, it says over here, John chapter 1, verse 18. It says over here, let's look at the word monogenes, okay, over here. That's just the word I want to see. The only begotten God, the one being. Okay. Where's begotten over here? Yet, the only begotten. Okay, so let's just check this word out over here. Okay, the only begotten. And then the definition is only, you see, only. And then only begotten. Okay, unique is another possible translation. So you got only begotten, and unique. Okay? Now remember in Hebrews chapter 11, I believe it says over there that I think Isaac was the only begotten of Abraham. Well, he wasn't the only begotten. First of all, he wasn't the only son of Abraham. I mean, you got Ishmael coming on the scene, and that's why you got all these unbelieving Arabs stirring up the nations. Throwing their Russia also, you understand what I'm saying? It's not only the Arabs that's causing trouble. You got Russia roaming around, you understand what I mean? This idea is just the Arabs. It's not just the Arabs. You got Russia. And they had Germany in the 20th century, in World War One and Two. I mean, you know, I'm just saying, it's not only the Arabs. Okay, this idea that is, oh, if the Arabs weren't born, there won't be no trouble. Well, how about the Russians in the Cold War? How about Germany in World War II and One? I mean, come on, you know what I'm saying? I mean, how about you know, Guy Fawkes? Okay, in the what? In the 17th century, the 1600s, wanted to blow up the whole entire parliament. Come on, that's terrorism right there. Guy Fawkes was from England. And then I don't know how they go around every year, okay, all right, putting a puppet of Guy Fawkes up there and just, I mean, I don't know if they worship the guy or I don't know what the hell. I mean that literally. Because from the pit of hell, they worship the guy. I mean, the guy wanted to blow up Parliament. I mean, come on, man. It's just like, you know, they didn't scare the living hell out of here, and I mean that literally, said Furl Griswold in his studies. You know what I'm saying? From Alabama. Now, verse 18 of chapter 1, and monogenes, it meant that. Only begotten, and unique. So that's why the NIV that I had in America said, God the one and only. It's not that he was begotten or that he was created, you understand what I'm saying? Because there's no evidence in the Bible that mentions, okay, the word being created at all. Don't give me this mumble jumble that you conjure up when you use or misuse, okay? You understand what I'm saying? Around verse 30 of chapter 8 of Proverbs. You understand what I'm saying? Because wisdom is a she, and a her. Look at the Hebrew word kola. Her voice. You understand what I'm saying? The logos is masculine. That's feminine there in the Proverbs text. You understand what I mean? So we learned, okay, that no one has seen God, but that really means no one has perceived God because of this Greek word exegesata here in this text over here. Exegesata. I would say actually, what is it there? And let me see the textual form though. And the textual form is actually exegesata. Exegesata. And that's in the aorist tense, as a matter of fact, though. And I think the sigma and alpha are pointing that out, though. Okay? And this is a me verb. This is a deponent verb, I should say. Exegeamai. Exegeamai. That's a deponent verb. It's passive in form but active in meaning. Exegesata. Aorist tense right there. And that's just the deal. But this word, okay, is very, very, very important. We just can't glance over it, though. Because it actually explains, no pun intended, okay, heorake. Okay? No one has seen God at any time, or no one has physically seen God at any time. The one and only who's in the bosom of God, who's in the bosom of the Father, he has explained him. So you can explain all you want, but if somebody didn't see, well, the explanation can't, can't help you to actually see him. So the lack of perception can be helped by somebody explaining to you who a subject is. Definition: to lead, show the way, it says over here, okay? To unfold, it says over here. All right, narrate, I think that's narrate over here, and declare. All right, declare, look at that. He has declared him, he has explained him, he has shown who he really is. No one has perceived God at any time. There's a lack of knowledge going on. It's just not, it doesn't mean to see and we saw, okay, in this very book. You understand what I'm saying? In this very book, chapter 9, it tells you, okay, that people are blind, so they need a she. You understand what I'm saying? And it tells you in Matthew chapter 13, verse 13 and 14, that, you know, those who hear may not hear. Those who see may not see. That's just a deal. This is a long study, though. I know, this is a long study. But we have to get this down pat. That horao here in this text, that's the lexical form, horao. Heorake, the textual form, means much more than just physical eyesight. It means much more than just seeing God with the whatever you got to use to see God. Like you're seeing something right in front of you. I mean, if you have the gift of sight, you know what I mean? So if you put your hand in front of your face, you're seeing that hand. You understand what I'm saying? You're seeing it. But there's another thing to see that hand than to understand how your hand works. So when a doctor sees his hand in front of his face, man, and he's a handologist. No, just kidding, guys. He can tell you, okay, the bone structure, the tissue, the circulation that goes on, the veins, how the nails grow, the hairs on the hand are numbered. You understand what I'm saying? The fingerprints. He could tell you much more than just that meets the eye. He can tell you, I mean, he could operate on your hand. And if there's two, nerves that are crisscrossed together, he could separate them, whatever the case may be, because he knows your hand. So he's not just seeing your hand. I mean, he knows what makes the hand tick. See this? So people can see a hand, but people really could see a hand. And this is what's going on right here. Nobody has seen God. Forget that, right? That's not true. He just saw that 74 people saw God at the same time. But it means much more than to see. So it can't mean just to see, because the angels of my Father behold the face. Okay, the angels of them, meaning of the Mikron, behold the face of our Father continuously. You see what I mean? So it can't mean that nobody has seen God at any time, because the angels saw God. And archino logos ke o logos in prostonte on. He was with God. He was facing God. So he saw God. So what are you going to do about that? What are you going to do about all these texts that people saw God? They didn't see the totality of God. Some of these beings. Some of these beings did. Some of these beings saw the totality of God. You understand what I'm saying? But some didn't. But some of these people did see the totality of God, so they saw God. So this can't mean no one has seen God, because persons and beings saw God. So it can't mean no one has seen God popate at any time, meaning with the physical, the spiritual, okay, eyes. You understand what I mean? It can't mean that. So it has to mean much more. And hopefully this study proved that today. This Angelo Quinones giving glory, total glory, to the God of Israel. God is not the God of the Necron, of the dead, but of the living, and that means that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay, were very much alive at the time Jesus said those words. Please subscribe to my channel, and please give me a thumbs up, and please give me a comment on the screen. As I attend to my baby now, Anna Devane, she just woke up, so I'm going to make her some milk, okay, and I just learned how to do it, Can't depend on my wife all the time. I got to help her out, during this pregnancy, you understand what I mean? And incidentally, the baby's name in the womb is Sean Donnelly. Okay, so you got Anna Devane, my baby. She's a young child. I mean, we still call her a baby, though, but she's 2.5 years old. And Sean Donnelly in the womb. All I need is Robert Scorpio, and I'm set. Can't lose. And I don't want you guys to lose that campaigns and battles and wars between you and JWs. I want us to represent Christianity in a clear, cogent, and exact way. Okay? That's what the ministry is all about. To give glory to God, the living God of Israel. In such a way that people will see or perceive God at this time, right now. Thanks, guys. Hey, you see here the roosters are crowing in the Philippines. Okay, that's just the deal. Take care, guys. Bye.